Hey guys, bam, there it is. The topic that people have been asking about that nobody really wants to talk about. It's awful. It's the non-resident out-of-state seller tax withholding. And if you've ever worked with a seller who is from out of state, you know this problem of where we have to collect either 7% if it's an individual or 5% if it's a corporation from the seller's proceeds. And it actually goes through the buyer. The buyer's the one who has to sign the documentation for it at the closing table. So we've had lots of questions about when's it collected, why is it collected, how's it collected, how do they calculate what a capital gains is, and so forth. And it's a crappy topic that I really don't want to do a podcast on, but I felt obliged to do it because I do think it's something that we're seeing more and more. People are right now, particularly in the last 20 months, are moving all over the place. We're seeing more and more people move. I think it has a lot to do with the fact that people either lost jobs or they took jobs in other states, and so they've been moving. And so we have had to do a lot of closings recently where the seller is out of state. And so the question is, do you have to withhold the seller withholding or not? So if you listen to this video, I promise or not the video, but the podcast, I promise it's not very long on that section. We probably spend about 17 to 18 minutes talking about that tax issue. So you'll know everything you need to know, and you need to know it because you need to be a top professional. You need to be a top agent. So you need to know for no other reason why your seller has to do it. So when they say, I don't want to do it, you have to say, yeah, you have to. I'm sorry, there's no way around it. So at least you can have those conversations. I'm not expecting you to learn how to do capital gain tax figures for somebody. In fact, you should never do that. But this will help you at least explain that situation to them when they have questions. Why am I doing it? Because you might have capital gains, you might have to pay taxes and so forth. So take a listen to that. Also in this podcast, we also go over love letters again. There's a lawsuit in Oregon about love letters and whether it violates First Amendment rights, outlawing them or not. So we'll talk about that. And then I have a Gary's Good News Only where we talk about the Omicron. I'm sure you've heard the media hype already for the Omicron, even though they're saying from South Africa that it's very, very, very mild. I think she used 3 varies when the doctor actually talked about it. So we'll talk about that as well. So check out this week's podcast. A lot of good information you need to know, and we'll continue back again next week with another good topic, hopefully something more exciting than taxes. Hope you all have a great week, and thanks for your support. We are number 74, by the way, in November for podcasts in the United States for how to podcast, and that's out of like tens of thousands. So thank you for your support. Y'all have a good weekend.